everybody. Welcome back to Armchair Chats.
Armchair Chats.
I'm Angela.
Yes.
Director of Operations with Hip Hemp. This is my co-host Dante,
Hello.
Operations Manager for Hip Hemp, Dermal Source, and all kinds of stuff.
All the things, yeah.
He just does it all.
Yep.
So welcome.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to be here. If you guys don't remember the last episode, we talked about CBD.
We did.
Guess what? We're going to continue on with that discussion.
Part 2.
It's CBD hemp use part 2.
Yep.
We'll call it hemp use.
Hemp use.
Hemp talk. Hemp chats.
Hemp chats.
Part 2.
Hip hemp.
There we go. Hip hemp part 2. But before we get to that, we need to get to some logistics. So
Yes.
where are we?
So where am I? We're in Portland, Oregon. We're recording from our offices. So you can visit our website, hiphemp.com. You can email us, info@hiphemp.com. We are also on all the social medias, Hip Hemp PDX, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, I believe. You can find, if you're watching this on YouTube, then you probably found our Armchair Chats channel. If you're listening on Spotify or some other podcast streaming site, thank you for tuning in.
Yay.
As always, if you have any questions, comment, feedback, like, subscribe, all of those things, let us know. We definitely want to hear from you, and we're just excited to have these conversations. We always look forward to it.
Absolutely. It just, the education, the stuff that we come up with, and the talks, and
Yeah.
if anything, it's therapeutic for us. So thank you guys for supporting us.
Thank you. That'll be $75.
Exactly.
Just kidding.
Wait, do we need to pay them since
Do
they're
we pay
supporting
them?
us?
I'm not. Maybe
no,
we pay.
never mind.
Never mind. I'm not paying you anything. So, how about we start with a quick recap of the last episode? So, last episode, part 1, we did a little bit of history. We did a little bit of science. We talked about how the history of the cannabis plant is, has been in use by humans for thousands of years, even in the United States in the early colonial period. And then there was a huge shift where it was criminalized to basically, blame, migrants from Mexico, or, attack the anti-war movement, or the Black Civil Rights movement, or all these things kind of dividing people from uniting against, the issues in our country. Really interesting history, and definitely has a lot of parallels to today. And then we talked about some science as well.
There was some science stuff talked about.
There was some science.
We'll just leave it at that. We talked about the endocannabinoid system, the central nervous system, the peripheral system, nervous system, how it all, works together, and how it's kind of keeping our balance, our bodies in balance. We're keeping, we're not losing our mind if we stub our toe. We learned that. Yes. That's
Homeostasis.
I was like homeostat.
Homeo
something. So we're staying balanced.
Yeah.
And how CBD and THC kind of helps with that.
And it's natural.
It kind of helps keep you there.
Natural.
And it helps with sleep, and it helps with anxiety and eating and gosh, the list goes on and on.
There's a list.
Yeah, there's a list.
There's a list.
Google it.
There's a lot. So today I think we're going to switch gears. We're going to answer some questions, common questions from our clients. And then it's going to be a little bit more casual today. We're going to talk more personally about our personal experiences with the hemp plant, what we grew up hearing, our usage of the plant in different ways, and all those fun things. So yeah, cool. Okay, we have questions. Where are they? They're on the back side of this paper. All right, so question number 1: how often should I use the CBD balm?
Our CBD balm? Or any CBD balm?
You should definitely use our CBD balm.
You should use ours.
And then you should ask us how often you should use it.
Yes. So if you were using our CBD balm, I use it personally. I use it once in the morning. I use it once at night. That's all I need it. It stays with me. If I do have like a migraine, or if I've got a stress, tension headache, I know this last week I've had a pretty bad tension headache all week. I would rub some on the back here. I'd rub some on my temples, and it would help.
Yeah.
I don't want to take too much Tylenol or anything, so I try to stick to this. But yeah, it's like once in the morning, once at night. Boom, done.
Yeah.
Bow. If you have more pain, if you've got, sciatica, if you have something that's really bad, use it as often as you need. You can't OD on this stuff. That's what's pretty amazing about it.
Yeah.
So otherwise, this jar can last quite a while.
Cool.
Yeah.
So definitely, experiment and play around and just see what works for you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely.
Okay, question number 2. Is CBD balm legal?
That's a good question. So, in quite a few states, yes. Depends on your state. I highly encourage you to find out what it is like in your state. Some are legal for medical use. Some are legal for recreational use, such as Oregon.
Yeah.
But you can't go to our sister state or our neighboring state, not sister state, our neighboring state, Idaho, and go across and not get caught and go to jail if you have CBD balm on you. So
Yeah.
make sure
Look
to
up the
check.
laws.
Yes,
Yeah.
make sure to check your laws. Again, hopefully there's going to be a law that passes pretty soon for federally, but it's a
Yeah.
state by state basis.
Yeah. In episode 1, real quickly, I think I mentioned, so there are 47 states where it is legal for some level of medical use.
Right.
That does not mean that you can necessarily buy it from us and use it. You probably need a doctor's prescription or something.
Right.
So just look into your laws. And then 11 states and the Washington, D.C., it's legal for recreational
Right.
use. So you should be fine in those places.
Yes.
But if you're not sure, just look it up.
Yeah.
Always safe to
Absolutely.
look it up. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, you could have it shipped to you, but we're not liable if.
But 72-point font, bold, underlined, italicized, but.
Make sure that you're good in your state.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool. Okay. Last little question: is CBD addictive?
No.
Not the balm, but CBD.
CBD? Nope.
Yeah.
Either's
Nope.
THC.
Wow.
Yeah. Just no.
Would you believe
we're
that?
leaving it at no.
No.
I was doing research about that actually, and it's like, is it addictive? Can it become addictive? And no, it's not.
Yeah.
Your body, we become addicted to the feelings that we get from it, right? But chemically, such as with alcohol or with heroin or nicotine or caffeine even, you become addicted to it.
You're right.
And if you miss a cup of coffee, you get a headache, right? So because you're addicted to it.
Right.
You don't become addicted to CBD or THC.
There's a difference between getting into the habit of something,
Yes.
which can seem addictive, but it's very different from actually being physically dependent and addicted to something.
Yes. Cigarettes are very addictive.
Yes.
CBD balm? No.
Nope.
CBD drops, CBD gummies,
Not
not
at all.
addictive.
So
yeah.
So rub away or smoke or eat or whatever you're doing.
Tincture, whatever.
Tincture away.
Yeah, is that what, just have at it.
Cool. Okay, so that wraps up the question portion.
Simple.
Simple. So, and if you have more questions, email us, call us, comment at us, let us know. We'll answer your questions, and we'll definitely come back to it in future episodes too.
For sure.
So today we're gonna talk a little personal chit chat. Ooh. So get your storybooks out. So the first question is, how has the cannabis plant helped you?
Oh my gosh, we don't have enough time in the day for this. So
pick your best story.
okay, my best story. Back 3-4 years ago now, maybe 3 years ago. Okay, so I took an antibiotic, just normal antibiotic for an infection, one that I've taken many, many, many times. And to make a long story short, it caused my kidneys to fail.
Fun.
I didn't know that was happening until I went in for routine blood work, and I get a call and they said, you're in stage 4 kidney failure, or stage 5. I don't remember how high it goes. No, it wasn't. And I said, come again? Yeah. And they said, yeah, you need to come back in. So I went through all this stuff. So to make a long story short, we found out I had to have a biopsy on my kidneys. They're like, it was an antibiotic. You are allergic to an antibiotic. Now, I didn't have an allergic reaction like you would. Your throat closes up, you get hives or anything. It affected my kidneys.
So it was an internal reaction that you couldn't see manifesting outward.
Right. And when I first went in to do my normal blood work, I knew I was a little bit fatigued, but I was all right. And it was very quickly that I just went bam, 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 downhill. And so finally, once they did the biopsy, they found, oh, okay, yeah, you had an allergic reaction. This is easy to fix. We're going to give you some massive doses of steroids. So I had to do steroid infusions where I had IV steroid drip. I don't know if you've ever been on steroid.
No, I don't know. Thank you.
You're exhausted, but you can't sleep because you're ready to run a marathon. And my face blew up like a basketball, and I gained a ton of weight. But anyways, Because of that, and because it was caught later, I have permanent kidney damage, which means I cannot take any type of antibiotic medication, anti-inflammatory medication, or anything that filters through the kidneys.
Yeah. So that's really severely limited you as to what sort of medicine you can access.
Yes. I had to have surgery a couple years back, and there was this big ordeal because I couldn't have certain anesthesias that filter through the kidneys. I could have anesthesias that actually filter through the lungs, which was interesting. I didn't know that that's a thing, or through the liver or
Like a gas anesthesia?
No. It was a general anesthesia that they were knocking me out. So
interesting.
So I have to be really careful.
Yeah.
So I was introduced to CBD THC around that time because I also have, I'm 42.
Yeah.
Yes, I get that that's young, but it's also, I've been on this earth for 42 years. I've put a lot of strain and wear and tear.
The aches are coming.
The aches are real.
Aches are coming.
The aches are real. I have arthritis. I have some other issues. And so, I like to take an Advil once in a while because things hurt.
Yeah.
And then I was told, nope, you can't take Advil anymore. And I was like, why? Tylenol does
choice.
nothing.
Just kidding.
Yeah. So I'm like, do they have an Advil Anonymous that I could go to? Because I think I'm addicted. So I started using, I actually used a few different things to try to figure out what's going to work for me.
Right.
And so it's been the CBD THC combo at nighttime, CBD during the day.
And you've been doing it ever since?
Yeah. I mean, I feel better now.
Yeah.
Than I did before. And I think it's because I don't have all those extra added chemicals.
Yeah.
From the Advil, the ibuprofen, the prescription strength, whatever.
Yeah.
Going through my body.
How do you do you when you take it at night, is it like what form is it?
So,
because I know you said you'll rub the balm on when you have pain. But,
the CBD balm I use during the day. I don't usually use THC or anything during the day just because, I got to function.
Right.
And not that people can't function when they've smoked, but me personally, it's not my choice.
It's not your thing during the day.
No, it's not my thing. So
I get that.
During the day, it's CBD balm. It's, CBD gummies, whatever that I've got. Most of the time, it's a CBD balm. Mm-hmm. And at nighttime, I will... maybe a little bit off my vape pen or my pen, my THC CBD pen, and I sleep great.
Yeah.
And it's good.
How does it make you feel?
Pretty darn good.
Yeah.
I'm just
relax.
chill.
Yeah.
And it's hard to chill right now. There's always something going on in my brain.
Yeah.
From the day. What do I need to do tomorrow? What do I got to go to the store to do? What bill needs to be paid? How are we going to pay this bill? What's going to happen here? What's going to happen there? What's
going on in the world? Always. You name it.
You got to turn off, we've had discussions. You got to turn off the TV. You got to close out that social media. And so this stuff helps me. It helps get my endocannabinoid receptors
wow, someone
going.
Is a scientist.
I'm learning. Gets those things going, and it binds to your transmitters, and then it makes me go whoo.
Yeah.
And so it kind of forces me into that
just
calm.
A little whoo.
And I like that.
Whoo. I think we could all use a little whoo. Yeah.
We use that, we're good.
Yeah.
So
cool.
What about you?
How has it helped me? Let's see. I'll use a more recent example because I feel like I didn't start using cannabis, THC until college. Mm-hmm. I think I mentioned in previous episodes, I was very goody two-shoes in high school, didn't swear, didn't drink, didn't do anything. That changed when I went to college.
I think that's a story for a lot of people.
Yeah. and childhood trauma mixed with drinking for the first time at 18 is a very interesting recipe for all sorts of things. But no, but I mean, I didn't start. I tried smoking, and I've smoked infrequently throughout college and done a few edibles. I think for me at the time, so I had so much anxiety that I think when I would ingest it in some form, I became very aware of my anxiety. So I think I used to think, oh, it gives me this anxiety. And there are, I think there are in some cases where too much THC can sort of increase sort of psychotic effects.
Yes, it can.
That doesn't mean it does in every case, and it doesn't mean it does in every amount.
It depends on the underlying conditions. It depends on your own body. It depends on what's going on.
For me at the time, I was dealing with so much mental, emotional, so many issues, and I was in therapy a lot in college, and just had a lot of like almost like PTSD from my childhood. That when I would smoke primarily THC, I couldn't do it. It like freaked me out. But now I've done a lot of therapy. I'm a lot better. But what I actually enjoy is I found that I've enjoyed edibles. I don't like smoking personally because of the sudden change in my mental
You like the
perception.
gradual.
I like the gradual. I don't like sudden shifts. So edibles have been great for me. I've been taking, I have this THC CBD combination oil. It's like a coconut oil with it in it. And so I'll just, kind of mix it in with whatever. I usually have a smoothie, or I'll like mash up some banana and
I got to
add it
stop
in.
you right there, because
Yeah.
so here's what I'm hearing. It's like, I think that there is a lot of the party time where we associated THC with partying,
Yeah.
right? With college.
Yeah.
With having this great, and now we use it for completely different purpose.
Very different purposes and very different
works,
experience. Yeah.
Right. And it works so well now.
Right.
That, it's a very different, very, very different.
And I think I'm glad you brought that up, because I think an important distinction I want to make, because I know there are a lot of people out there that are concerned about using CBD and or THC. For me at the time, I was combining it with drinking. I also had a lot of mental health issues I was going through that, it just wasn't, it didn't have the effect that it has now.
Right.
I think at the time what I really needed was not to be turning to substances of any kind, but to like get a solid, standing on solid ground with my mental health. But now that I'm there for most days, questionable sometimes, it's great. Yeah, I love it. So I usually will take it on the weekends, and I don't take it all the time, but it gets me into my body.
Yep.
It gets me out of my head. I feel like I become so much more aware of how I feel. And I can feel when I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted or whatever. I just feel good. It's nice. And so, because it's I take an edible form, I can kind of regulate how much I, want to feel the effects.
Yep.
And I have tried in the past too, like lower levels of THC and higher levels of CBD, and that's been great. So it's good.
And it's very interesting because if you do a CBD THC mix, it actually, the CBD
dampens the effects of the
THC, which is very interesting. So you're still getting the same effects, but you're not getting the high feeling.
As intense, yeah.
Right. And again, I wish I was 22 and could go around high and drinking all the time, but I can't.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's a different relationship with marijuana now than what it was when I was in my 20s, when it was illegal.
Right.
And
when you're young at that age, it's kind of fun to do illegal things anyways. So it's when it's illegal, it's like, ooh, I'm going to, but it,
right.
Yeah.
And now that it's legal, I don't want it. Totally kidding. So let's take a real quick break.
Yes.
Let's talk about our calming balm.
Yep.
And if you heard the first episode of this, we talked about our rejuvenating balm. So this is our calming balm, which has lemon seed grass oil in it. Smells amazing. I've heard it smells a little bit like Fruit Loops. So I don't know. I mean, it kind of does a little bit.
I love Fruit Loops, so I don't.
I mean, who doesn't love Fruit Loops? But it doesn't smell like marijuana. So it's got, again, this one has 200 milligrams CBD in it. It doesn't
smell like Fruit Loops. It just smells like lemon and grass. It smells like lemon.
Which is lemongrass
oil.
Yeah, there you go.
If you took a lemon and you took grass, it smells like lemongrass.
It smells amazing. This one works really good for joints, for muscle as well.
Yes.
But this is really good for the joints. It's a calming balm. So like the name says, it calms.
Yeah.
It calms the nerves. I have clients that use this on their neuropathy. Diabetics, they get neuropathy cancer treatments. There could be some neuropathy in the feet from the chemo. They use it. It helps them. They don't feel like they're ping-ponging off the walls when they get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom.
Right.
I've got clients that use it on their lymphedema. They have lymphedema from cancer, having their lymph nodes removed, and it helps to keep the lymph. It's just an amazing product. So.
I really liked this one. So in the winter, I have eczema, and so in the winter it gets pretty bad, especially working here where part of my job is handling paper, so my hands dry out. I really like the calming balm. The rejuvenating balm is great. I found for me with eczema, when my skin is like broken and cracked, the peppermint
you don't
and
wanna
mint
put
oils,
peppermint or spearmint in broken skin.
So don't get me wrong, rejuvenating is great. If you do have broken skin, I would recommend the calming. That's what I used for my eczema, and it calmed it down enough. But the peppermint is great. If it's kind of like if you've ever used Tiger Balm or anything like that. The rejuvenating is like that. It has that really nice kind of penetrating, cooling feeling.
It's a tingle. There's a tingle on application in it, and it warms up.
Yeah.
Just like, they always tell you, put on a heating pad or put on an ice pack,
Right.
depending. Well, that's like putting on a heating pad. And it works amazing, especially for muscle pain.
Yeah.
But the calming balm is amazing. That's what I use on my knuckles. So I have arthritis in my fingers.
Yeah.
And I type a lot during the day. That's all I'm doing is sitting there typing. And they get hurting.
Yeah.
And I use that every morning. I'll put it on every night before I go to bed. I also put it on my hip and put it on my lower back. So
Just a little bit everywhere.
bam!
We also, last thing, Chats 15.
Chats 15.
CHATS 15. Our promo code. You only hear it here on
That's
Armchair Chats.
That's true.
So-
And we have a buy one, get one half off. So you could try one of each. You could get 2 calming balm or 2 rejuvenating, whichever you decide. But amazing. Give it a shot. It works. I don't know where I'd be without it. So yes. So moving on.
So right back to the discussion. So yeah, this one I think will be interesting because we can definitely tie it back to that history portion that we talked about last episode. So how was cannabis, marijuana, hemp, how is it portrayed in education, in the media, in mass culture growing up? And how, what were your views on it?
So
When were you growing up? As a teenager and young person?
80s, 90s was like teenage. Yeah.
So that's like the war on drugs era, Reagan.
And and that's what I think in the last episode, if you saw it or not, but I talked about the frying pan and the here's your brain on drugs. Any questions? Well, that was during that time, which was the war on drugs, so for a while it was like, no marijuana. Oh my gosh, that's just awful. And then it was, I'm going to rebel. And I'm going to go ahead and go out behind 7-Eleven. I'm going to pick me up a $5 bundle of this good stuff, and I'm going to smoke it. And I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to give it a shot because I'm going to rebel and do it. So it's funny how now I can walk down the street.
Now you go into the 7-Eleven. They don't sell the plant yet, but they sell the CBD.
They sell the CBD, and you go on every street corner, every block, there is a pot shop.
Especially here in Portland, Oregon. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, we have something called the Green Mile that is right in our backyard. It starts
like
here.
Literally right.
Yeah, it starts right behind us, and it goes up a mile, and it's just pot shops.
Yeah.
And so I just remember, I don't remember much talk about it. I just remember that there was a lot of, it was all clumped into heroin and, cocaine and angel dust and meth and, shrooms.
It was
or
a
whatever.
Schedule 1. I think it still is a Schedule 1
It is still a schedule.
drug.
Yes,
yeah.
it is. But okay.
Yeah.
So I just know it was all part of the bad. Drugs are bad, and this is bad, and you should never do it.
Yeah.
And
where were you hearing those messages? Like, where was it coming from?
It was school.
Yeah.
It was, I think.
Because you had did they have the DARE program?
I was just
by the time you were.
Yes, I was just going to talk about that. There was the DARE program, DARE to keep kids off drugs.
Yeah.
And which great. I think it's great. No,
Right.
absolutely. I don't know that marijuana needs to be in that program,
No.
but that's my opinion.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest thing. I don't remember talking about it much with my family.
Did you see it on TV? Were you watching a lot of TV in your household, or was it on TV?
The biggest thing was that commercial.
Yeah.
And I don't remember much about the war on drugs at the time. I really don't remember too much about that. I don't remember talking about it much with my family.
Right.
But it was...
The impression very much was it's bad, evil,
It's very
dangerous.
bad. It's just as bad as everything else. Don't use it. End of story. Bam. And...
Yeah. When did that? So California legalized it for medical use in 1996, and then from that point onward, there's been we're not going to go into the history. Watch the past episode. But when did it start to change for you, as it shifted in the sort of cultural and legal world? How did that shift play out for you?
So it kind of goes back to what we talked about in the last episode, where I did my college and I did my partying, and I was in my 20s, and that was the big thing, was to
Rebel
was to smoke a bowl, get drunk, pass out, get up and do it again the next day. Yay. But then I kind of grew out of that. I had my son, and it was like time to grow up. Yeah. And so it's just been in the past few years that I've really been like getting back into it again.
Yeah.
Maybe the past 3 or 4 years since
Yeah.
my whole kidney stuff.
Yeah.
But it was like, this is really a good thing, and it's completely different. It's not going and hanging out at a frat house and getting high. And that's just,
it doesn't even matter what's in that setting. That setting itself is just a mess. Fun when you're doing it, but it's a mess.
It's true. And I love my friends. I some great friends, but they're much younger.
Yeah.
And we went camping not too long ago, and they wanted to, smoke a bowl and just chill. And then it was like everybody was just sitting there staring. And I'm like, this isn't as exciting to me or as it used to be when and it's like, what is it? But I remember, it brought back the times when I was younger, and that's what we would do. It was like,
Just
it was
chill,
party.
yeah.
And then it was get high, get drunk, and then just sit there and stare at the ground for 5 hours. And it's like, so it's a completely different relationship with pot. It's a different relationship with CBD than what it was when I was younger, even in my 20s.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I really need it.
Yeah.
It really helps me now.
Yeah.
And so it's very interesting.
It's changed.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think for me, I was born in 93, so I was kind of coming up as a young person in like the 2000s. But yeah, in the 90s, in the late 90s, there was still the DARE program, so I remember that. I do remember, because that would have been post Bill Clinton. I remember Bill Clinton era, like also carrying out the war on drugs.
I did not inhale. Wait, no, was that Clinton or was that Bush?
Oh, I don't remember.
No, that was Clinton.
Was it? Or was it Obama?
No, it wasn't Obama.
They all probably inhaled. Let's just say that.
I hope they did.
I hope they did. But no, I remember on the nightly news. I remember on the news there was constantly stories about like, it was usually black people. It was like, these crazy drug offenders doing these things, and it was always about marijuana and like just this scare. And so I remember that. And then I think for me, just growing up, like I said, I think I just grew up pretty conservative, not like politically, but conservative in the sense of just I didn't swear, I didn't drink, I didn't do drugs. Like, straight A's, didn't talk back. Like I followed all the rules. Like I was very much that. So that, marijuana for me, cannabis for me was just off limits,
right,
along with a whole lot of other things. Changed for me in college. And then, I think for the most part, I didn't really think it was like this. No, I think that's not true. I think I was pretty scared to try it, because the first time I ever tried it was in high school. Actually, I think it was after I graduated, like the night I graduated.
I graduated, I could try this. Yes.
So like some of my friends who were like, I knew they were stoners. I was like, okay, I'm going to hang out with you, because I wanted to try it. So I was like, well, I graduated from high school, so my dad can't give me shit now.
Well, yeah, there you go.
So I tried it, but I freaked out. But I think for me, it was a control thing. I was so anxious and paranoid and like hyper controlling that to like let loose almost was like, it was too much for me.
Right.
So that was weird. But, and then I think as it became legalized, it was like, I feel like for the most part, I never actually really believed that it was a big deal. For me, it was more, I was afraid of disappointing my dad, who thought it was this terrible thing. But then more recently, it's just, and especially learning the history, it's ridiculous. It feels stupid, like silly that it's even illegal and there's such a big deal. But I understand why there is. But I love it. I love to use it for creative purposes. It really helps me like get in touch with how I feel and just relax. I don't like to get to the point where I'm like staring at the ground. Like I still like to function,
right?
But just enough to take the edge off,
Well, like I said in the previous episode, we are in a world that is constant go, 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 go. Yeah. And the demand for everything that we do is super high. I mean, it takes, if you are a married couple with kids, both of you are working. If you're a single parent, you're working.
Yeah.
You know, so then you've got your kids, and then you've got COVID happening, and then you've got
laundry and grocery shopping and chores and cleaning and cooking and friend time and you time.
By the way, you got to go to work, and
Yeah.
you're working an extra shift, or you're working, longer,
and you're stressing about bills and budgeting, and
sometimes you just need a little help. And to me, I mean, I'd much rather, pop an edible than take something pharmaceutical grade that may or may not help.
For folks who have never, first of all, if you're interested in these bombs, we've said it before, we'll say it again, it does not get you high.
Yes.
So no worries in trying it. Let's definitely wrap up this episode because we've been chatting for a little while.
Oh yeah, we have. Yeah.
But I think, definitely try these bombs. And then just as far as like, if for anybody who hasn't tried ingesting THC or CBD or both ever, or has done it in the past but is maybe like hesitant, obviously, I mean, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But if you're interested, if you're curious, I would recommend doing some research, watching videos of people, talking to people that if they've done it. And if you have the access to be able to purchase it, if you're living in a state or a place where it's legal, then I would start with an edible if I were you, and I would take a very little bit.
Yes.
Eat a tiny bit, smaller than what it says,
and wait longer than what you think.
Wait like 5 hours,
and just
don't
when
eat
you
the rest
think,
of it.
oh, geez, it's not working. Wait longer because it's working.
It's coming for you.
The best thing that I can suggest to do too is go into your local pot shop.
Yeah.
Seriously. They're very, very educated on the different types, what the indica and the sativa or whatever that is, and what's going to work best for you, especially if you're somebody with anxiety or with a underlying mental illness or something. It may not be the best to do THC, but CBD would be really great for that situation. Do your research. Don't just, oh, hey, Armchair Chat said it's great, and let's try
I'm going to buy
this.
the first thing I see and eat 5 of them. I wouldn't do that now because that would be like, I mean, actually, I would probably just fall asleep.
Well,
but
yeah,
for
3 days, yeah.
If you're anxious, though, go slow.
Yes.
Go slow, and it's better, if you're worried about it, it's better to not feel anything than to feel too much and be nervous. So
But just remember, there's a stigma on it.
Yeah.
That if you decide that you're going to try some CBD or try THC, edibles, whatever, that does not change who you are.
Yeah.
It doesn't change anything about you. You are still be a very successful person, and nobody's going to look down on you for that because it is legal.
Yeah.
And it is becoming more and more popular. And as these studies and everything are, becoming more available to us, we're seeing how much it does help the body.
Yeah. You're still a good person. And that's it.
That's it.
And you just, there's nothing wrong with doing something to take care of yourself.
It's not necessarily anybody's business either, but just know that there is.
And it's safer for you than alcohol, arguably. So,
Yes. Yeah. I mean, liver can take some damage. But,
try it out.
Yeah, why not? So.
Cool.
All right, my goodness, we just flew through that episode.
We did. So, again, this is our first time doing a 2-part episode series on the topic of hemp, CBD. We're going to be talking about this for as long as we're in business and as long as we're doing these armchair chats. So, if you have ideas or questions or comments, let us know. Email, call, drop a comment in the inbox and in the comment section. And we're definitely going to come back to this topic and
definitely.
There's just so much more to talk
about.
And
real quick, before we go, hemp seed oil is definitely different than CBD or THC.
Yes.
It is made from a marijuana plant, but it is pulled from a different part of the plant. CBD is completely different than hemp seed oil. Like our In the Pink products are made with hemp seed oil, not CBD or THC. This is made with our CBD oil, and THC is also made differently. So,
and I believe
just to
for hemp. For hemp oil to be like regulated, it has to have like less than a certain percentage of THC or CBD present.
CBD is 0.03 THC,
which is like you're not going to get.
You're not
nowhere near getting close to being high.
You'd have a headache trying to smoke that much CBD to get high.
To get that,
it wouldn't happen.
So don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. I have people that ask about our In the Pink products. They're like, is my vagina going to get high? No.
But it's going to feel good.
Yes. But no, your vagina will not get high from our hemp seed oil products.
What would that even look like? A high vagina? Food for thought.
I've heard a lot, and that one I was like, but you know, people will put stuff in orifices to make them feel high faster, right? Because you've got a lot of blood vessels in your vagina and your anus to absorb stuff and make it travel faster.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I was like, your vagina's not going to get high. Yeah. Promise.
Promise you. Pinky
Not
promise.
today. Not today, anyways. I mean, we've got other stuff. No.
Yeah.
So yeah, CBD, not THC.
Yeah.
Hemp seed oil, not CBD or THC. And here you go.
That's it.
That's it.
We will see you next time on Armchair Chats, and stay tuned for what those episodes will be about.
Yes.
Right.
Take care. I think we're going to talk a little bit about body image stuff.
Yes.
So, but we'll let you know. So take care, everybody. Thank you.